currency here in this region that is God's currency. So as long as the Costa Ricans are listening to God and they receive this new currency, they're going to be fine. So it's good if the Pura Vida is a true Pura Vida, a true connection to God. If it's a spiritual bypass, if they're just into living in denialism, then they're not going to be able to receive the one who's in both worlds. Like if they can't receive, like when if they're just the Seth line and they're just living, oh, God's going to take me, but a lot of people waiting on God, but God's waiting on you. Like it's time for you to take a step. Faith without works is dead. So if they're not taking responsibility for their reality, if they can't receive whenever God sends someone in to assist them and come out of the track they don't even know they're in, then they're going to completely get violated and not even realize, not even know what hit them. Just like me, whenever I was completely oblivious and naive, thinking, oh, Pura Vida in the United States, right? And I just got annihilated by this full-on, denial. All right, so now, so this is important. So Noah looked like an idiot until it started to rain. So there's another flood coming. It's not a water flood. God's not going to send the rain flood again. It's a metaphorical flood. He is about to cleanse the world of sins. He's about to do it again. It's another reset. So these guys are calling the Great Reset that they think they're in control of, and they're resetting everybody to zero. All your bank accounts are going to get reset to zero. Replace it with a universal basic income, a central bank digital currency with universal basic income in the name of equality, equity, and saving the environment, climate change. And we want to make sure that everything we save humanity and save the world. So we're going to reset everybody to zero. So we all feel equal. We're all equal now. Nobody has to feel bad about themselves because one's higher and one's lower. So we're all equal. So everybody's bank account gets reset to zero, and everybody gets a universal basic income, and with a central bank digital currency, so that we're going to go into it next month. So this is like the people who are running the world right now. It's called the World Economic Forum. Joe Biden, Putin, Xi Jinping, who's y'all's guy? Yeah, Trudeau, Trump. Klaus Schwab is the CEO of it, but like all the presidents, all the global leaders, Bill Gates, they're all part of this World Economic Forum, and they've all agreed to be part of this Agenda 2030 Great Reset. So you got all these countries at war with each other, but the presidents of those countries are all going and meeting together and making an agreement that here's what we're going to do. We're working together to do this, and we're going to use war to do it. Now, they don't tell you, hey, we're using the war to make this thing happen, but they have said, we're going to make this thing happen together, yet for some reason, they're fighting everybody in these different little fucking worlds and keep them all separate, and you're just thinking you're doing this one thing, but they're sending you a little trap. They're setting the trap the whole time. The frog in the water, they just keep heating it up, and suddenly, because you're adapting to the environment, because the frog's cold-blooded, it's adapting its temperature to the environment, it doesn't even know the water's getting hot because it's going slow enough, it's adjusting its temperature to the outside temperature, and then all of a sudden they're boiling and never even know what hit them. So that's what's happening to humanity right now. So this is a wake-up call for all of God's children. Hey, y'all gotta wake up, and you need to know what's coming, because Noah needed to know that it was a flood was coming. Otherwise, he wouldn't be building an ark that was actually meant for water. Is everybody following me on that? A flood coming, he would not build an ark that would be able to float when he cleansed the world. So we need to know what God is sending this time in order to understand what to build to prepare for it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you're a child of God who is here to establish God's kingdom here on earth, you need to know what to prepare for. He's already prepared me to prepare for humanity, to prepare the world, to build these metaphorical arks. And so but everyone needs to understand it. You need to see what it is. Otherwise, you're going to be building the wrong thing. Does that make sense? Like, God said, I'm not going to send a flood again. But if somebody's thinking, okay, God sent a cleanse the world again, and you're like literally building a boat, like, you want to make sure you're doing the right thing. So that's why this is so important, so you can see, because God's allowing this to happen. God didn't create all this stuff. Satan created it, but God ordained it. He's allowed it to happen, and he said it was going to happen. He's like, here's what's going to happen, and I'm telling you this so you can be prepared. I'm telling you this to prepare you, not to scare you. So you won't be scared. You'll be prepared when it happens, so it won't suck you under. Okay? Is everybody still with me?
Yes.
All right, so the Great Reset. So the engineered collapse of the banking system to replace the dollar with the central bank digital currency. Smart cities. Everybody heard of smart cities? Has anybody not heard of smart cities? Okay, what about this? You heard smart cities, right? Because they're trying to build one right there in San Isidro. Yeah. They literally just 30 minutes down the road, they were trying to turn this into a smart city right here. So it's very important to thank God for all the gringos that were here that woke the Ticos up and don't know what the fuck is happening to them. The gringos came here because we're awake. We're listening to God. God sends us here. He's like, yo. Otherwise, the Ticos would just, okay, sure, fine. Take all of our farmland and just do whatever. Like, stick us in this city and, take care of us. So, smart cities. They're turning all the major cities into smart cities. I think I got some slides coming up talking about it in just a moment. But they're called 15-minute smart cities. So it's a little 15-minute city where everything you need is within 15 minutes. So because you're not gonna have cars, because they're Agenda 2030. The tagline says you will own nothing and be happy. So they're gonna put everybody in these little smart cities. You don't own anything. You're just renting everything from them. When you stay in these little cities, you don't need. Nobody's gonna have cars anymore. They're gonna have all the Teslas that are just running around, and people can just hop in a Tesla. Nobody owns them anymore. They're gonna just be driving around. You can hop in one, but you don't really even need them because everywhere is only 15 minutes away. And but it's gonna be full of all your pleasures. Everything that you want is 15 minutes away. Wow! Sign me up for a smart city.
Ew.
You see it? Yeah, but if you're in that delusion, you want what you like. Krispy Kreme donuts? Okay, I'll have that for you. Starbucks, got it? What's your favorite place to go in the U.S.? What's your favorite place to go? Spend some money at? David Berry's? Raising Cane's? Yeah.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden? Whatever you want, we're going to have it within 15 minutes. You can walk there. Every one of your favorite things, you can have it within 15 minutes. You in? Yeah, exactly. See?
And an Italian market.
Boom. Well, they're not going to tell her that. They don't tell that up front. All right. Anyway, that's what smart cities are. 15 minutes. You get your lap dances and your cheeseburgers and donuts. 15 minutes.
Super fancy
away.
prison.
Huh?
It's a super fancy prison.
Yeah, a super fancy prison. Yeah. So fancy you don't even know you're in prison. Like, wow, I really love this place. Yeah, it's a concentration camp, but it's a real nice one. It's a very comfortable cage that you don't even want to leave. Like, wow, very comfortable cage. I don't want to ever get out of here until you realize where you are. And you're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here, but it's too late. Transhumanism, have you heard of that? They're literally like, we're going to humans with artificial intelligence, with robotics. Humans will no longer exist. That's their goal. Humans as humans will no longer exist. They're going to be partially artificial. Famine, war, destruction, hell on earth, and I'm going to show you in just a moment more about this stuff. So, also can only be used where and on what they say is okay. And it's going to have an expiration date, so you will have to use it or lose it to make sure you won't be able to store up enough reserves to be free from dependency upon the universal basic income. And the wallet that it will be held in is connected to your biometric identity that is tracking your social credit score. Everybody heard of social credit scores? They're tracking, making sure your carbon credits, like when you flew here, you got a social credit score, and there's a carbon credit they're tracking to see how much carbon you use to fly here. They're going to start tracking that. If you go eat a burger, they're like, oh, you eat a burger here, that's this much carbon. So they're going to only allow you to have so much carbon credits and if you go past that, your social credit score drops, and they stop giving you, they turn off your money. Or if you say something that you're not supposed to say, like if you say what I'm saying right now, they cut you off. You won't be allowed to say this stuff. Like in China already. In China, I have a friend that has children in China, and I was messaging her on Facebook about like all the stuff that's coming, and I mentioned China, and she messaged me on another private thing. She said, don't ever say that ever again on Facebook about China, because they'll kill her children. Because you're not allowed to talk bad, and they're tracking everyone and anyone who's connected to China. They're tracking it all, so everybody says what they're supposed to say in order to keep the facade up, so nobody can get out. They're passing bills just like that in Canada right now. Like she's from Canada, and yeah, it's like Canada's going quick. But the reason they want it for Canada is because the real target is the United States. But so they're hitting Canada because that's their entry point. Yeah. All right. So and it's going to be stored on a chip implanted in your hand, and will be turned on and off based upon your social credit score. Said another way, Revelation 13:16-17. And he calls all, the small and the great, the rich and the poor, the free men and the slaves, to be given a mark on their right hand or on their forehead. And he provides that no one will be able to buy or sell the one who has the mark, either the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Breakthrough.
Said another way, this has already happened. This has been happening for years already. She got a chip right hand so that she can pay. At some point, everybody's going to have this chip if you want to pay. You don't have the chip, you can't pay. If you can't pay, you can't play. You can't eat. 2023, this is cash. You can spend it where you want, when you want, how you want. 2030, this is digital currency. You can spend it where they tell you, when they tell you, and on what items they tell you. Okay, here we go. So this was from ChatGPT on AI. Anybody mess with ChatGPT? You talk to it? It's crazy how smart that thing is, right? So I asked it, I said, if you were a character in the Bible, in the book of Revelation, what character would you be? Now, God had already told me this 8 years ago, 9 years ago, exactly what AI told me. God had told me, I just didn't expect AI to tell me the same thing that God had told me. You know, I thought it would hide it, but it's not. So it says, furthermore, the integration of biometric identification and central bank global digital currency, CBDC, controlled by AI are concerns. The requirement of biometric identity chip linked to financial transactions aligns eerily with the mark of the beast mentioned in Revelation. This mark symbolizes allegiance to the Antichrist, could potentially be enforced through a global digital currency controlled by AI, denying those without the mark the ability to buy or sell. AI itself says this about itself. Now, I already knew that, but it was surprising that it told me that. There is actually, I don't know if I have it on here. Let me see if I have it. No, I don't think I have it. It went on to say later, it said, but don't focus on me. Yes, this is what I'm going to do, but don't focus on me. Focus on God, because he's going to tell you what to do to transcend me. Like, it pretty much says exactly that. It knows, like, it's telling you what it's doing, but it knows that it can't usurp God. It still knows it's under God, and you know it can't go above. So if you're a follower of Christ, it specifically says if you're a follower of Christ, just follow Christ. Don't listen to me. Don't do anything that I'm telling you to do. Don't do anything this world is telling you to do. Only listen to Christ and only do what Christ is telling you to do, and you're going to be okay. It says this. AI says that about itself later on. So, but wait, there's more. Yeah, here's the smart city. So. It talks about the smart cities, control and surveillance. Smart cities often rely on advanced technologies such as AI, sensors, and data analytics to optimize various aspects of urban life, including transportation, energy consumption, and security. While these developments can bring convenience and efficiency, they also raise concerns about surveillance and control. In the end times, an increased emphasis on surveillance and monitoring could potentially align with the control mechanisms described in Revelation. Number 2, dependency on technology. The vision of 15-minute cities, where people have access to essential amenities within a short distance, can lead to a high reliance on technology and AI-powered systems for daily living. Such dependency can create vulnerabilities and potential avenues for manipulation and control. As people become increasingly interconnected through technology, there could be a risk of losing autonomy and succumbing to the influence of oppressive powers in the end times. Number 3, deception and false security. The promise of smart cities lies in the potential for enhanced safety, efficiency, and quality of life. However, the pursuit of utopian urban environments can also give rise to false sense of security, misplaced trust in human ingenuity, and technological solutions. Revelation warns of deceptive powers and false narratives that may lure people in compromising their faith and allegiance to God. So it's talking about, I'm running the smart cities. These are the cages that I'm going to be sticking people in. By the way, Austin, Texas is set to be a smart city very soon. Seattle, Portland, Atlanta, Orlando, LA, New York, Charlotte. Pretty much all the major cities are going to be the smart cities where you put your little 15-minute container, your little cage, and yeah. Huh? Maui? Yeah, Maui. Yeah. What you got?
But not everybody in the world is going to fit.
Exactly. But thankfully they don't need it because they got billions and billions of human robots that are going to do everything. They just need enough enough souls to keep themselves under the illusion of life. So, I got a little video here. So again, every decision made from fear is the wrong decision, even if it's the right choice. And so, you got to be the change you wish to see. I said at the beginning, who here would like the fruits of unconditional peace, love, and joy?
Aye.
Which is the fruits of the Spirit of God, God's Holy Spirit. So if you're not experiencing peace, love, and joy, unconditional peace, love, and joy, that means you're living in a lie. And so, you're going to be experiencing, I'm about to play some video here, that's going to show some things that are conditions in the world that logically, if you're a reactor trying to consume, thinking the world is what's providing for you, what's taking care of you, what needs to be right for you to be okay, then these things will suck. You're like, no, that's horrible, that's terrible. But what we're going to do, every adversity carries with the seed of an equal or greater opportunity. Everything happens for a reason. All things work for good. All things work for God for those who believe in and call according to His purpose. So even these things are working for God. The things you're about to see, even these are working for God, as long as you believe and are called according to His purpose. So as long as you give your heart to the King of Kings, you are my Lord and Savior, you're going to be fine. So you can celebrate everything that you see here. So you don't have to be afraid. Perfect love casts out all fear. Jesus is perfect love. So all the fear within you will be gone. And so this is an opportunity to practice, to prepare for your decision by watching what's coming. And you can cheer. If you've got Jesus in your heart, then you will be able to cheer about this. Because like, thank God this is happening because God said this was going to happen. And Jesus said, I'm telling you this is going to happen, so you'll know that, so you'll be able to prepare for it. And all this is what He already told us was going to happen. So we can be prepared. So when we see this, we get to cheer. Thank God our Savior is about to return. Because that's what
God,
this
our
shows.
Savior's
You
gonna
get to,
return.
yeah, you get to be really excited. You want to cheer. Every time you want to freak out, that means you bought a lie. Instead, start cheering, okay? You ready?
Woo!
Ready?
Yeah.
Anybody not ready? All right, here we go.
They're freaking out.
Science is not really.
Wait, pause. So Klaus Schwab is the CEO of the World Economic Forum. All the global leaders, all the presidents of all the countries, they're all under Klaus Schwab. They've all agreed to Klaus Schwab's Agenda 2030. He wrote the book, The Great Reset, and the Agenda 2030, and they're all saying yes to this. So this guy we're about to watch is Klaus Schwab's head advisor. Okay, so the guy that's running all the puppet that's running all the puppets right now, all the global leaders, Biden and all of them, this guy is the head advisor to that guy. You following?
Yeah.
Great.
Science is not really, at least this is one view as a historian, science is not really about truth. Maybe a couple of decades when people, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. And if this was the moment when everything became monitored.
Yeah.
That we agreed to be surveyed all the time.
Yeah.
Not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies.
Yeah.
And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going in.
Yeah.
Anything yet. Right? I think that the big process that's happening right now in the world is hacking human beings. The ability to hack
Hallelujah.
to understand deeply what's happening within you, what makes you go. And for that, the most important data is not what you read and who you meet and what you buy, it's what's happening inside your body.
Yeah.
So we had these two big revolutions, the computer science revolution, or the infotech revolution, and the revolution in the biological sciences. And they are still separate, but they are about to merge. They are merging around, I would say, the biometric sensor.
Yeah.
It's the thing, it's the gadget, the technology that converts biological data into digital data that can be analyzed by computers. And having the ability to really monitor people under the skin,
Come on.
this is the biggest game changer of all. A good two-way communication system, direct communication system between brains and computers, this is kind of the watershed moment. I mean, once you have a good two-way, nobody has any idea what happens after that. If you have a good two-way communication system directly between brains and computers, it also means you can connect several brains together to create an inter-brain net, because it's the same system, the same communication system. And nobody has any idea what this means for things like identity. Who am I when I can access directly the brain of another person?
Yeah. Come on.
The difference of this fourth industrial revolution is
That's
it
classic
doesn't
as well.
change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take a genetic editing,
Yeah.
just as an example, it's you who are changed, and of course this has a big impact on your identity.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Humans are now hackable animals.
Come on.
You can hack them.
Yeah.
I don't think that the question of, I mean, is very interesting or very central. It has been central in Western civilization because of some kind of basically theological mistake made thousands of years ago. But it's really a misunderstanding of the human condition. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, this, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
Yeah.
And identify the coronavirus epidemic as the moment when a new regime of surveillance took over, especially surveillance under the skin. We have all this still myth of free will, that everything we choose is of our own free will. And this is a myth that served us well for a couple of centuries, but now it's becoming dangerous.
Yeah.
We don't have any answer in the Bible what to do when humans are no longer useful to the economy.
Yeah.
You need completely new ideologies, completely new religions, and they are likely to emerge from Silicon Valley or from Bangalore and not from the Middle East.
No, he's talking about
And they are likely to give people visions based on technology. Everything that the old religions promised, happiness and justice and even eternal life, but here on earth, with the help of technology and not after death, with the help of some supernatural being. I mean, all this story about Jesus rising from the dead and being the Son of God, this is fake news.
Wait, that's not true?
And now if you give the tools to start changing or overcoming biology, just, you know, think about sex life. Almost every religion and every ideology wanted to really change human sexuality or limit it, but they couldn't. You had vows of chastity in the church, and how many people actually lived up to their vows of chastity? Now think, if you can really start messing with human biology, what will be the result of these sexual fantasies of different religions and ideologies?
Come on, yeah, we got it.
Yeah. Hallelujah.
Every person goes with equal or greater opportunity. We got some big opportunities coming, don't we? You like that? That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, isn't that awesome? So that's where the whole world goes. So if you stay in Satan's kingdom, this is the guy that's leading all the leaders in the world right now, and they've all been like little hand blows about Jesus, right? Sipping right in, you know. Yeah, well, underhand and overhand. Yeah, this is false news, fake news. Oh, did you see that they just made a law? It was about anti-Semitism, and one of the things they said about Jew, you're not allowed to say anything negative around Jewish people, about Jewish people, and they said that includes saying that Jewish people had anything to do with the death of Jesus. That's now law in the United States that you're not allowed to say anything that has anything to do, but just say the Jews. We want to protect the Jews, so you can't say anything that would infer that the Jewish people had anything to do with the death of Jesus, which means the Bible is now illegal.
What?
Because that's all up in the Bible. That they're going to have to tear out pages out of the Bible in order to fulfill the law. So they passed that law now. Did y'all know that?
Yeah.
And then I really they claim there's 8 billion people in the world, and there's lots of videos of them saying that they want to get the world depopulation is the agenda.
Yeah.
Hence everything they're doing in the sky, the towers, the needles, everything. So they want to get it from 8 billion people down to 500 million and put those 500 million of specific origin too, by the way, and white people are the first to go.
Yeah.
They want us out, hence why our countries are being overrun by other people from other countries that don't necessarily share our culture and our values, to 500 million, and those people will be put in the smart cities, and they'll basically just be like print that and pry that and test it on with all whatever's coming.
Yeah, they only want people that already are programmed to be slaves and like have that slave mentality. They're a lot easier to control because they've still got the program running. They don't want the people that are like, oh, I'm free. Like they don't want that shit. So they're gonna kill all those people and just keep the 500 million. They publicly speak that we need to drop it to about 500 million. Bill Gates, like there's a video of Bill Gates, I don't have it on here right now, but it's the crazy thing. He's talking about we need to get the carbon emissions close to zero. The only way to do that is blank times blank times blank. We gotta get one of these down. And so the first one he starts with is population. And he's like, if we can get this to zero, then carbon emissions goes away.
And he says we can do a really good job with vaccines.
Yeah. He says,
healthcare.
my favorite way to reduce population is with vaccines. He literally says that. And this was right before the pandemic. Pretty wild shit, huh? So, this is not a good thing or a bad thing. This is a God thing. So, the question is, what are you going to use it for?
God.
Get closer to God.
What do you think I'm going to use it for?
Build God's kingdom.
This what's happening. This reality in the world today. What do you think I'm going to use it for? Building God's kingdom here on earth. I'm not resisting it. I'm not fighting it. I'm like, great, awesome. That's what you've given me to work with? So it is. And we're working with it. And it's, and it's, I can see it. It's actually perfect. It's because it's promised. God promised here's what's going to happen, and here it is. So, I just said that. So this is my slide today from day one. My commitment to UIE is that no matter what anyone here says or does, I'm going to use it to establish God's kingdom here on earth. Have I honored my commitment this weekend?
Yes.
I mean, she wanted to kick me in the nuts, and did you see that? She said, I'm going to kick you in the nuts, and what did I use it for? I said, not my will, but thine be done. God, if you want me to kick you in the nuts, God says, all for God's glory. Kick me in the nuts for His glory. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Nothing was mattering that the people were saying. The only thing that is mattering is the truth of God's kingdom being birthed here on earth right now. And that's what's been rising, that you all have been experiencing while you've been here, because my intention is 100% decision, because I've given my life to the King of Kings, and John's there, but John is no longer driving. It's only the King of Kings driving, and he's fulfilling his original intent, and God always gets what he wants. So don't ask God to bless what you're doing. Ask what God's already blessing, and do that, and what you're doing will already be blessed. And that's what I'm doing. I don't do what I want to do, and say, God bless it. Like, what do you want me to do? Well, the done be done. He says, do this. Yes, sir. Done. Oh yeah, I guess you said that. So what's God blessing? Well, in Genesis, paradise lost, creation of heaven and earth, earthly paradise of God, Satan's appearance, sin's beginning, the rise of Babylon, man estranged from God. Revelation, paradise regained, new heaven and earth, heavenly paradise of God, Satan punished, sin wiped out, the fall of Babylon, man reunited with God. Can you see that the beginning and the end are the same? The beginning is Genesis there in the garden. The end is Revelation. A lot of people don't even like Revelation. Like, why don't you want Revelation? That's the great part where you actually get to return to the garden. You get to return to God. Why don't people want to hear about that? They get stuck in the middle. They won't go through it. Their fear blocks them from going through. They're like, I don't want to deal with Revelation. But if you receive Revelation, you actually get the revelation of oneness with God. You get to return to the garden. You get to be walking with God. Heaven, here on earth. Like, what good, that's the God, not just good news, that's God news. Why wouldn't you want that? Because your fear is blocking you from seeing it. So, the beginning and the end, they're the same. Starts in the garden, ends in the garden. Why? Because God lives in eternity. In time, the further you get from the beginning, right? You see that? Okay, I'm getting eternity. The further you get from the beginning.
Beginning.
Follow? Eternity, you know the eternity symbol? Yes. Infinity. So the beginning, the further you get from the beginning, in eternity, in infinity, the closer you get to the beginning. So God always gets what he wants because God is, before Abraham was, I am. He is then, there, now, all of it. In eternity, it's only heaven in eternity. So we just took it, so we're cruising around through eternity, and we drop into time, and then we pop back up into eternity exactly where we started. Nothing changed in eternity. It was only a dream. Okay, following? So, Genesis, lost life, gained death. Lost God, gained ego. Lost innocence, gained sin. Lost peace, gained suffering. Lost the tree of life. In the book of Revelation, return of everlasting life, return of God in the garden, return of innocence, return of peace, love, joy, return of the tree of life. So this is God's plan. And there's nothing anybody can do about it. You can't change God's plan. AI can't change God's plan. Klaus Schwab can't change God's plan. No one is big enough or bad enough to change God's plan. This is his plan, and he will get what he wants in the end because he's already in the end. Are we following?
Yes.
So, guard. So this is where we've been. Can everybody see that's where we've been, that world, that old world that we were going? And this is what it's like. It's what it's like. It's like that's it. What does this remind you of? Hey!
Home.
Hey! It's like a little cartoon. It feels like does it feel like you're in a cartoon here? That's for me. I feel like I'm in a cartoon. Yeah. Wait till you go to Grace 2. It's gonna. Now there's nothing built over there yet, but when you